Absolutely. Thank you so much. How are you guys? You good? Yes. We got some of our best and brightest here. We're going to be talking about the power of the pen. Just so you guys know, I want to introduce myself. I am Brittant Lewis. I am the Artist Partnerships Lead for Black Music and Culture at YouTube. So thank you so much. Y'all, this is also my very first time in Jamaica. So give me a warm welcome, okay? Let's do it. Yeah, we need to actually get projects a seat. Okay, cool. No, we're not gonna have you stand. That's not the vibes. And look, so you get to sit next to me. This is the best seat in the house. Amazing. So, I just wanted to start with you guys. First of all, I would love for you all to introduce yourselves and tell me how you got your career started in music. I'll go with you first, Projects.
1, 2. My name is Shani Kulture. I work at Hot 97. I do the morning show representing the culture, the Caribbean community, the African diaspora alongside Ebro, Laura Stiles, Rosenberg on Hot 97's New York City morning show, as well as my own movement of the culture movement where we travel the globe and, represent everyone from artists to entrepreneurs and everything in between. So, yeah.
Amazing. JLL.
All right, my name is JLL. I'm a music producer. You might have known some of my work. Champagne Poetry by Drake is one, Runaway by Coffee, Little Bit of Money by Governor, and a few others. I started music basically in high school. I had some brethren that were also producers as well, and we just basically kept up a little group of ourselves, inspired each other to keep making music until one of us just basically kind of blowed up, Yeah.
Well, hello. My name is Nordia Mothersille, and I started out in music by actually losing a competition. Not Nice held this competition for persons to basically have a chance to be on his King Midas album, and I entered and lost, but somehow he saw what is in me, and that's how I basically got my start.
Hello, I'm Valiant, aka Father Depot. Basically, I started off with music at the age of 4, 5. Been singing ever since. I didn't want to be any doctor or lawyer or anything like that. I always wanted to do music. So from that day, I wanted to just do music. So, just from my youth, I want to do music, basically.
Yeah. And Nordia, you just mentioned about losing a competition was like your pathway to get discovered. As we all know, the music industry is tough. It's not nice at times. How have you all been keeping focused and able to kind of work through some of the trials and tribulations during your career? Whoever wants to take that.
Like for me, I basically try to don't read comments. I just really try to master my craft more. Instead of letting my team alone listen to my music, I let them other people listen to my music to hear their response and see what need to be improved or what me need to do more or better. We as artists, it kind of hard more while to really please everybody, because everybody are gonna like the song they are, But we still try to keep that frame of mind there and keep focused same way.
Yeah, I would say it's focus. I agree with Valiant. It's basically fortitude and discipline. I just think the industry is, especially down here, I wouldn't say it's as structured as it is in other places. So you really have to leverage your relationships, and you have to know yourself. You have to go through a bit of self-introspection before you kind of put the whole of yourself out there, because it is draining. it is draining to maintain that energy, and on top of that, try to grow yourself as a creative. So I think for me, it's just really constant introspection, learning, learning from others, and yeah, just having faith. Having faith in what you're doing makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Shani, you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't write the music. I guess the perspective I'm more so coming from is receiving the music as a radio broadcaster and what we're listening for, right? So a lot of times it's more so, you know, it's a formula, you know, but you want to be genuine. So as a songwriter, you don't want to create for radio or create for mainstream impact, because that can, you know, dilute the true energy of what the music is supposed to convey and mess up the chemistry. But you know, it's like you said, you have to pour out your heart into it and be vulnerable, but it's got to hit all the right tones. It's the music's got to be right, the delivery, and you have to open up, you know, the first 30 seconds of the tune, because at this point everybody have ADD, you know? So if you're not catching people in the first 30 seconds of the tune, they pressing to the next.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
understand? So it's tricky. It's tricky as an artist who is going based off emotion.
Yeah, and because of that, like, the short attention span that a lot of consumers have, that we all have, right? Like, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and we're just swiping, endless swiping all day, right? And so you're always trying to think about, how can I capture somebody in that quick 15 seconds? How am I able to produce something that catches people's ear right away?
Right.
What's some of the things that you guys do to not create a sound that, you know, you think people want to hear, but something that you think people will really enjoy?
Well, personally, I try to ensure that I tend to write how I feel, but I can also write how somebody else feels, because I'm somewhat of an empath. I could talk to you and you tell me that, okay, this happened to you, and I can sit down, think about it, and put it into a song. So I try to ensure that my lyrics are relatable. Well, it might not be relatable for everybody, you know, but somebody has experienced something similar to what I've experienced or what you've experienced. So I try to ensure that that comes across through what I write.
For me, before everything, I was writing basically for myself.
Yeah.
So when you're writing for yourself, for instance, I love reggae. So I sing, this is what I want, this is what I need. Nobody wants to hear that. So it's a script that you have to just change now and say what them really want here. What them really want here, like, you have to overthink, because you don't want to use the same flow as somebody else to say something like them. And you don't want you just have to think out of the box. And then you come with something, then you say, and you say, all right, that can't work. But yet again, you as the artist, and really that you want to sing, you know, and really that you want to sing, but you have, as an artist, you have to relate to your fans, them, and what them want.
Yeah.
So, as a writer, enough things, because your fans come in like iPhone every time them upgrade. Every time them upgrade. Because them will love you today and just hate you tomorrow. So you just have to just keep consistent. We as artists, we have it hard. Hard.
Yeah. How do you guys think the role of songwriters and producers and artists has evolved over the past 10 years?
I think Valiant said it perfectly. You know, everyone kind of upgrades. Everyone kind of changes their perspective of how they go about things, because technology changes how we go about things.
Yep.
You know, and nowadays a lot of our social interactions are on our phones. So you have to cater to the phone, you have to cater to the social media, because we're in a very productive world, you know. So how it's changed is people are sending emails to each other. People are finding each other on SoundCloud or Instagram, you know, and making DMs and making links and making songs. That's how I end up linked with Chronics. He just DM me, and I DM him back, and we met up in real life. So I feel like that's the difference. It's just a technological advancement.
Yeah. with the technology and you guys like DMing each other, do you guys find it easier to connect? I know there's like plenty of artists that will do songs that have never met each other in real life. Are you guys down for that, or are you always wanting to meet up and do and collaborate in person?
In person more better. To me, still, the connection better. Because for me, I have to talk for myself. The energy of right between me and the artist, for me and him do a song, or her. We have to have a connection, certain way for know. So, all right, then we're on the same part, same energy. The cut and paste, like me send my file to you. For me, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Me not like it.
Yeah. And two, there's also been like a lot of shifts in sounds, right, in music. And you know, I think right now, I can't speak for anybody else up here, but there's been times I've caught myself being bored with a lot of artists and sounds. So how do you guys make sure that you're standing out or being a part of a forefront that's part of a catalyst that's changing the sound or creating a trend that's new, that something that feels different, doesn't feel like everything else that's out right now?
For me, Not Nice, I work with Not Nice, right? And he's always pushing you to try something different or basically expand on the sound that you already have. Because initially when I started out, I have sort of an R&B sound, and that's the only thing that I really focused on, like soul or R&B type vibe. That's me. But then Not Nice made a rhythm. The rhythm is called Cool Reminder. And he's like, all right, I want to build one song for this. And then that basically helped me to try something else, push to make a different type of sound, but still maintaining myself.
Yeah, and for me, I just try to listen to as much music as I can, from all walks of life, all cultures, especially black cultures, because I really resonate with that. But I mean anything, because I feel the wider your range is and the more open your mind is the more you're able to draw on different inspirations. And me as a producer, I don't limit myself to anything. So like how I would make a little bit of money, and then you would have heard the Champagne Poetry by Drake, and then you would have heard the Tequila Mockingbird by Smee. You know, it's just like 3 different vibes, but all of them do well in their respective areas.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've, in terms of trying to stand out, that I find interesting is connecting a dance challenge to these records. That seems to be the trend, right? You know, it's like a cheat sheet, Yeah, if you can connect a dance to it, all of a sudden it moves. So there's some songs that, will never get to mainstream radio. Yeah. But I've seen some of them come straight from the internet, like the new one, We Are Running Grown. Yeah. With the Busta Rhymes beat, because there's a dance to it. I said, how this make it on the radio? And morning radio, because, you have to be of a special kind of caliber to get to morning radio. Yeah. And we running a tune. And they said, well, we saw it moving on the internet. Everybody was dancing to it. So I said, wow. So there are some cheat sheets, that sometimes could get you to the forefront.
Yeah, for sure. The only downside to that is sometimes, right, like, if you hear a sound on YouTube Shorts or hear a sound on TikTok, you don't necessarily know who the artist is. You just know that like 30-second clip, right? And you're like, right. I like this sound, but that sound doesn't have an identity.
Yeah, that happened to Steve Lacy. I think he had a very popular song that was
the Bad Habit
up.
Song. Yeah.
And no one knew his lyrics. Like he would perform and no one knew the lyrics.
They just knew that one part.
Booked out a whole couple of shows and no one knew the lyrics. So they were just like,
yeah, it's kind of the gift and the curse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The thing that's so special about Jamaica is you guys have strong music culture, strong culture in general, and your diaspora outside of the islands rides hard, right? Do you guys feel, do you feel an obligation as Jamaicans to make sure that you create a sound that's not only for the island but for the world? Yeah.
Well, I think it's a balance. I think you have to be authentic to yourself first and foremost, but you have to be realistic with what's going on around you. Because you have a lot of people that do alternative music out here. So I started out working with a lot of alternative artists that do hip hop and trap and even R&B as well, like Nordia. But the issue is there's not much of a fan base for that in Jamaica. It's very niche.
Okay.
So the thing about it is the more you can incorporate the genres that have already had their success. I mean, and it's an incorporation. It's not a complete changeover and just change the sound. Like, mix it up a little bit, so get a little familiar, and then a little new. And that way I feel like you get something that to a lot of people is air candy. It's new to them, but it's familiar.
Yeah.
It's a balance.
Yeah. What do you guys think the future is for artists and music producers and songwriters looks like for Jamaican artists?
You look good still to me, still. First thing first, for me, you just have to be yourself.
Yeah.
Creativity come in a different ways. Some people like up on a hill for write a song. Some people like they by themselves. Some people like them team around them. And many different ways. Dancehall just needs support from Jamaicans. Because outside of Jamaica, people love dancehall.
Love it.
Yeah, may I tell you, them love dancehall. They love where they expect from your country, I get it out of port. No. Them supposed to show the same type of energy. Believe me. You know somebody that say, oh, father, that over say, yeah, father. I not expect that, but you know, show the love. Everybody where like a push dancehall on the next level and I represent for Jamaica. Yeah, the R&B and trap, of course. Once you do it in Jamaica and just support it. Yeah, just music. To me, I don't really have much to say. Me just love music and just put out my creative thoughts, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I would say too, you know, reggae music is here to stay.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, globally, so we know it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you will have some highs and some lows just like anything else. I think one of the key things is kind of understanding the formula that works universally. You know, there's a certain level of BPM, basically tempo, that works. We know music is a universal language, that regardless whether you understand the language or not, you can feel it if it's real. You know, but if it's too high, people might feel like, well, I don't know the dance to that, so I'm gonna just lean on the wall. You know, if it's too slow, maybe it take them out of the zone so they don't understand, but there's a certain middle ground when you're making music, even if it's from Spain or Ireland, it's gonna connect with you.
But sometimes, you know, with that, you know, consistency, because sometimes we want this, and then next week we just feel, you're not gonna know, because we just get this and everybody has support this, and now them want this, we can't know. So it kind of...
Well, as an artist,
you know,
you have to express how you express.
Yeah.
So however the music hits you, you have to do that. But sometimes too, in the creation of it, at least back in the day, I don't know, they would make the album and it may have the tune that's here and the one that's here and the one that's here, and they say, all right, let's make the single now.
Yeah.
Let's make the one that's going to reach the people, to bring them into the album so that they can get all the different flavors of what you have. But the one that's the single is going to be the one that everybody or the majority of the people can understand and relate to. It's going to touch everybody's palate in a certain way, you know? So, again, that's the tricky part.
Yeah, and I also always say that, like, Jamaica kicked in the door for Afro beats, Afro pop, right? Like, to become global sound. And so, but I also feel like sometimes Jamaica doesn't get that credit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
probably.
Yeah, if we're talking about
those
global,
who know.
Yeah, people who know. But when we're talking about global diaspora sounds, like Jamaica are the pioneers for that global diaspora sound.
Yeah, and I think I just heard somebody say hip hop because Jamaica ushered in hip hop.
1,000%.
Jamaica ushered in Afrobeat. So, of course, again, you got to give Jamaica all of the props in the world. When you're saying that, it doesn't always get those props. It doesn't
always get it.
It's stated, but sometimes, oh yeah, Jamaica, yeah, true. Yeah, they did hip hop. But you know, you got to give Jamaica its true propers.
1,000%. Like, deserves all the flowers. Okay, JLL. As a producer, you know, sometimes being a producer is faceless, right? Sometimes people don't know who's behind the sound. How do you work to get in front of the music? Like, how do you build your brand outside of just your credits?
It's difficult, man. I'm in the midst of that process right now. But some of the things I've done is just to show up. You know, you show up places, you support events, you you post, but really and truly seeing people in real life and them seeing you, and also showing up to performances that your artists are going to.
Yeah.
So, you know, your artists big you up and you say, yeah, man, and then it's just like people see you and then that association happens. So for me, it's just like, I just try to be around the places and the people and the events that I can relate to, so that naturally people can get awareness of me. Because it's, honestly, I'm not really too about the putting myself and my face out there like that, but, you know, times have changed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking to look in that direction, but for now, I just try to be out there in the world and try to interact with people in real life.
Yeah. Nordia, how are you branding yourself as a songwriter and an artist?
Well, what I do is I try to ensure that whoever I work with, I keep like a good relationship with them, and I try to ensure that I try to make the song to my full potential. Because I've found that sometimes it's not really, sometimes you think people don't know, and you think people don't know who you are and so on, but you actually start finding that more and more people know about you through the work that you've already done.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. What about you, Valiant?
For me, basically, I just stick to the to my team. Like basically, and just stay to myself. Basically, lately, I stay to myself. The same energy that I started with, just staying focused and just staying in my zone. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How important do you guys think it is to create like an audio branding, right? Like, you know, some certain producers have certain drops. If you think about like a Netflix, like, you know, the do sound is like, oh, this is Netflix. Like, how do you guys think about the auditory branding of your music?
I mean, it's important because not everyone can see you all over the world, but your music can play all over the world.
Yeah.
So the more your music plays and the more there's a consistency with that kind of sound or that intro or, you know, that groove, then it's just like people can make the correlation. I think a good reference is The Genius.
Yeah.
The name of The Genius, you know, and like his kind of sound, you instantaneously know. I mean, Not Nice, a lot of producers, especially back in the day, had their tags just because instantly, and you know, in the party when you hear it, like you know it's who.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like having that brand, it makes it a lot easier for the producers to have a stronger foundation and a stronger connection to the people that are listening to the music.
Yeah. What about you, Shani?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I agree in the fact that branding is always important.
Yeah.
You know, just because that's the same way there's the Macy's and the McDonald's and the this, because you're creating a brand that people can trust. So they're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt after they have some equity with the people, where people say, yo, I know this brand. As soon as I hear this producer's sound in the beginning,
Yeah. You know it's gonna be some shit.
yeah, there's gonna be some shit. So we know, so as it moves forward, it's gonna be good. It's gonna get better.
Yeah. What's some advice that you all would give your fellow peers or aspiring songwriters and producers, artists coming off the island?
I would say, you know, the reality of what's there in the world is a lot different from what's in your head. A lot of people really base their self-worth off of likes and comments and, you know, engagement, and when it doesn't really align with what you think you should have deserved, then you feel bad. Or a lot of people align themselves with things that, you know, they want to be and kind of running away from their own interests and their own values. And I feel like the more that you attach yourself to your values, you'll realize there's a community of people that are just like you, that you can grow as naturally as you can, rather than forcing yourself to be someone else and then realizing halfway through the journey, you get your bag of followers, you realize, say, this is not you. You know, people out there treat you like, say, you're the social media person, and then you get annoyed, and it's like it's just not good not to be you. You have to just be yourself regardless.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Nordia?
I also think you have to accept that it's not going to happen overnight. It could. Maybe for some people, you know, you have some people that come up real quick.
Yeah.
But you can't give up. And if it's something that you love, once it's something you love, you have to just have that faith that, okay, I am doing what I was meant to do. This is my purpose. And no matter how slow it's growing, it's growing. Even if it's one more person know you based on something that you've done, that's somebody else, and you're growing still. So just keep at it.
Facts.
Yeah. Progress is a slow process. And, you know, with the internet, everything seems like it happens overnight. But a lot of people who seem like they had overnight success been grinding and crying for many years.
For a long time. Yeah, I would say, too, on a songwriter's perspective of, you know, make sure the song is impactful from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening to an artist's music last night. They were playing a variety of songs, and one of them hit me in the middle of the song. Like, I was like, wait, my ears kind of peaked up, like, wait, this is getting good.
Yeah.
You understand? I needed them to rewind it back to the top so I could listen properly. That's not necessarily good.
Right.
You understand? Because most people don't have that attention span. And a lot of times when artists would present their CDs to me, or I would see some of these record labels in the office, they sitting there, they're like, no, listen to the whole thing. Like, you didn't even get to the good part yet.
Yeah.
That
It's
can't
like,
work.
I don't have time to get to the good
It got to
part.
be good from the beginning. It have to hit you with impact. When you write it, come in, you know, with strength. You know, make sure the beat is powerful and the feeling is there from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because that's how you're going to captivate your people.
Yeah. And like that's a mistake that, you know, sometimes some artists make. What are some of the do's and don'ts that you guys would give advice to for folks trying to break through?
I would just say you just can't follow people too much. Because it's the same thing. If you're following people too much, you're running off of something and you're running away from yourself. So you have to keep a balance. So that's a don't. I would say a do is just to constantly make sure you maintain that inspiration. So go places, link people, try new things. Just you have to take a risk and you have to jump out there and embrace the fear. Because over the fear is that next step, that next level for you to go. It's just true you can't see it because the wall is so big.
Yeah.
But you can jump it. It's just true, say, you know, it takes a lot of energy and effort. And yeah, you might fall down, but eventually you have to get up back.
Yeah. Jumping over the fear, that's a big one. Fear holds a lot of people back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, too, you know, as an artist, know who you are and know who you want to be, right? Because that is going to project, one, integrity to your music.
Yeah.
It's going to have a certain quality in the content of the music, and it's going to set a path for where your career goes and the type of artist that you want to be received by the people. You know, so if you want to be, you know, a dance club artist, then analyze how the club moves and kind of, but if you want to make music that's just, you know, everyday longevity and have strength to it, then, you know, understand that and really lock into who you are.
Yeah. And I think self-discovery takes time, right? A lot of people don't really know who they are at their true core, right?
That's right. Most people don't.
So most of us are projecting of who we think we are and not really understanding who we actually are at the core. But I was wondering, how do you guys navigate growth and change within yourselves as artists? Because obviously who you are 5 years ago, 10 years ago isn't the person you are today. So how do you guys navigate that growth and that change? And then how does that affect your music?
Well, I try to basically just accept that, okay, Nordia, you used to like this, but you don't like this anymore, and that's fine. So, okay then, let's see how this new version of you does this. Let's see what you like now. You know, I think it's important to stay by yourself sometimes, just to really listen to your own thoughts And even though you need to listen to other people too, it's just that sometimes self-discovery comes through just sitting in your room by yourself or just sitting just wherever you're comfortable and really learning you and applying that to you now.
Yeah. Valiant.
For me, basically, it's kind of scary at times. Yeah, because this is a whole new, you can't go outside like one time and just depend like inside our party place. Hey, like, yeah, it's kind of stressful at times, but when me try for the basically, I just stay around people, kind of give me positive energy. Like
Yeah.
my friend them, and just stay around positive people. Music-wise, like for the question you asked before, you have to breathe, sleep. We don't know, but for me, who really want music,
Yeah.
no, like it's a passion, it's a something where you just well want. And I really, you don't want the hype, or nothing like that, You want really people to recognize the talent and the passion we really have towards music and how you structure your song them. Because most times, me have some song, like my past songs them, and like some point, like some verses where me really acknowledge and what me love. Some of my fans them notice it too, as well.
Yeah.
So me I say, Jano, so music is something where from you want it, you can't really listen to nobody. Everybody have comments. Right now, somebody go there say something about me. So
Yeah.
I don't care. So
Yeah.
you just have to just stay focused.
Yeah.
From you want something, you go towards it. Believe me, because my mother did want me, right? I say I want jacket and tie, right? Hi, mommy. Yeah. Jacket and tie and thing, but that wasn't for me still.
Yeah.
Not saying anything against that. But my passion is music.
Yeah.
And forever will be music, So from you want something, music producing, don't listen to nobody. Build your beat them, write your song them, stay focused. Don't scared for send message. Just look while me and not nice talk. Me and not nice just a talk. Me been and send not nice message up to this day till me send other don't scared. Push yourself out there. The social media platform them there. You see what boss me? Catch you at a lie. So just push yourself, believe in yourself. And just know say everything
Yeah,
you do, you just put God in it. Just push yourself. Don't listen to nobody because at the end of the day, you can't please people. Please yourself,
Please yourself. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that. Yes, give it up. Please yourself. Speaking of a little bit of what you touched on, Valiant, how do y'all protect your peace?
I mean, it's basically what Valiant say. You have to keep the people that love you close.
Yeah.
And you have to, because they're what kind of give you your values, your family, your friend, them. They're the ones that kind of remind you where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, this music thing will take you very far into the depths of just materialistic, just more until you realize you're so far from yourself.
Yep.
You don't know these people are around you. You're just doing a lot of things that it doesn't feel like you. So I feel like staying close to your family, your friends, and people that love you and respect you, and regardless of what you do, if you can't give them nothing, they not take nothing from you.
Yeah.
They just want to hear from you and just want to make sure you're okay. To me, that's just like the thing that keeps me sane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Protecting peace. Protecting your peace mean hype nowadays, Because you can start get selective.
Yeah.
You can know who you want around. You can really know who you want around you. So, yeah, protecting peace. For me basically though, I just stay by myself. My friend them can tell you.
Yeah.
We just gone far. I like they around my son, or I'm there around my mother. Like, the media, believe me, the stay off of media. When I get it, just stay off of media, stay focused, consistent. Just, again, as me tell you, stay off of the media, because the media just change up your whole perspective. The moment you start read comments, you start, even if you say, just look upon one of them, that one they can just ruin your whole day. The whole day. So just stay to yourself and just believe me, just when you continue to work and write,
Yeah.
And a part of protecting your peace, I believe, is saying no and that being a full sentence.
Yes, no. I love that.
Because you'll find that people start asking you for some things just because they think, okay, I know you. I'm not saying you shouldn't be kind and, try your best to help as much as you can. But if you try all the time, it's going to wear you down. So you have to be able to just say no and mean no.
I love that. I'm always in the business of no. Because sometimes it's like you saying yes then turns into a roller coaster of more things that you have to say yes to.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, more commitments you have to make. And again, protecting your energy and your peace then doesn't happen. Yeah. Oh, sure. Can we get a mic out to the audience? Matter of fact, this should be Q&A, right? Okay, cool. Somewhere over here, I can't really see. The lights are bright, so I can't see. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from.
Greetings, I'm Colleen, which is enough. I teach writing, and so I was excited for this particular session. And so I kind of want the panelists, especially Joel and Valiant, to just speak to us a little bit about your process of writing, how do you write? So I'll tell the students that I want an essay, and the first and last paragraph are 4 to 6 sentences, and the body 10 to 12, and I need 4 of that. And I tell them that, and that's a basic structure. Do you have a structure when you put pen to paper? And how do you move from the words to melody? I'd really love to hear a little bit about that and your process.
It's a really good question.
For me, I start with melody first. And my environment, for me, like, nobody in a studio, nobody can sleep. So who asleep have to come out first. My environment have to everybody have to focus on that one thing. Like the energy in the music, right? So for me, I find the melody first. For me, it take like 40 minutes to find the melody because I don't really want to sound like everybody else. So it take like 40 minutes for me to find the melody. Words, that take around 20 minutes. So it's not really hard to really do that basically for me still.
Sure. Jel, or Nordia, were you gonna chime in?
Well, basically, it all depends on the song. Sometimes I'll find the melody first. Other times, I'll have a phrase and I know that, all right, I want this to be in the chorus. But I try to ensure that I'm painting visuals. I try to use words that would help you to either associate it with a smell or seeing something that I know that a lot of people knows how it feels. So for example, if I say, something as simple as sour as lime, everybody know that lime sour. So it's easy for you to associate that to what I'm saying, and it kind of make the song come together better. I don't necessarily have a specific time, honestly. I could start the song 5 minutes and me finish, and it can be a good song. Or it might be 5 minutes and I say, the one you're not ready. I'm going to go again. So it really depends on the vibes and the song.
Yeah, my experience working with songwriters and artists is, it's similar to what Nordia and Valiant are saying when it comes to the melody comes first, because the melody is the most natural thing to come to you. I've had experiences where artists would have a melody and they will voice the melody. And they will have that for like months, because they're really trying to match the perfect words to the melody. And honestly, and that's fine, because you have a structure in place first, instead of just like, you try to think of a theme and you try to put the words together. So it's like, that's secondary, because the melody can turn into anything, any topic, any theme. You just need to make sure, say, the groove and the space and just that kind of structure is there first.
Yeah.
Hi, afternoon. My name is Ryan. I have a question for JLL. So as a music producer personally, I find that sometimes I get bored of producing one genre all the time. So in terms of forming a sustainable career as a music producer, do you have to zone in on one thing and focus on a specific genre and a sound, or you can just experiment?
But then, bro, if you get bored, you just move on. You have to move on. You can't stick on it because if it's just not for you, if it's not giving you that energy, you can't expect the artist them for, get the energy that you're putting into it. So I would say experiment as much as you can, but find something that's the next closest thing. So if you're tired of producing dancehall, try make an Afrobeat something. And then try mix dancehall and Afrobeat. That's what I did. And sometimes I go super left field. I try just make something that I've never made before. Or sometimes I do remixes. I think it's good to do remixes. You find some acapellas and then just blend it with a rhythm. And that way you can really get a wider perspective as to how people's melodies and lyrics can fit on different music. So it's just really experimenting and continuing that.
And the reason why I asked you is because if you already established yourself, say, as like a dancehall producer, but then you want to go switch to something like soca or something, another thing like that, it's like you already established a following as a certain genre of producer. So do you establish a new identity in a different genre or something? I don't know. I
would say times have changed, I can't say I see much people nowadays who are just one thing. Like many producers do many different sounds, and I feel like you just shouldn't be too concerned about that. I think you should just really be more concerned about what your brand is. Just make your brand, you're just a producer. Like you do what works for you and you just put it out there, and the artists that connect with it will connect with you. And you'll be surprised, like, that's what Valiant say, reggae is him thing, like, yo, reggae is my thing. And at the end of the day, like, sometimes in a session, a dancehall artist, if them hear a reggae with him, they make a beautiful song. I mean, they probably don't want to put it out, but, it's really what is in your heart and what really moves you. So, just kind of experiment and don't worry about being in one lane.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Amazing. We have somebody down here in the front. While Ahmed comes down, I have a question. What do you guys think, what are some things that like every producer, artist should have lined up for their business of music? Because a lot of people will create the music is fire, but their business is a mess. What are some things that people should be knowing about, especially in the world of songwriting and producing? There's so many artists that I've worked with, and I'm like, well, what are the publishing splits on this? And like, they haven't worked that out on the back end. So what are some things that everybody should know about the business side of songwriting and producing?
Just ensure so you can collect your money somewhere or somehow.
Yeah, get your money, please.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far where you get the millions of views and then you wonder like, how come I'm not making anything from this? And the fact is just that the money is being made. It's just that you're not signed up with the specific sources where it can be distributed. So you do that, and then and also I think it's just to kind of create a business plan, like have an idea of where you want to be in the future, what you want to do, because that will kind of propel you to make moves and steps to kind of advance your career rather than just, okay, I'm just make rhythm and whatever boss. Like, nah, like it needs to be a guided thing. And collect your money. You have to collect your money, your royalties.
Yes, please. Make sure you guys, if you're a songwriter, producer, please make sure you're either with ASCAP or BMI. There's so many royalty and publishing.
Down here,
Correct, because a lot of artists and songwriters, miss out on that.
You got to make sure your business is tight, and that's a struggle for a lot of creators. As an artist, you don't really want to deal with the black and white paper, and figure out all these things, It drains you when you're a creator, but you have to do it if you're trying to get paid, so.
And try to put together a team, too. Like, if you have a lawyer, brethren, if you have some people who just have a little knowledge in maybe managing, like, put together a group of people that actually care about your work and will just do the work on your behalf. It's fine if you don't want to do it, but it has to be done. That's the thing. So someone has to do it. Even if you pay them a little part of what you make, that in itself is gonna bring up the value of your work.
Free you up so that you can be the creator you are.
Perfect, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Who's next?
Yes, thank you. My name is Carl Robinson, and I'm from Portmore. And I really appreciate the opportunity and want to be thankful that this forum or this conference is now taking place. And as you guys said, it's going to be an annual thing. We really appreciate it. But the question I have is the writing skills and what you're now hearing in recent time in the music, particularly dancehall, and there are music known as the chopper songs and so forth. I'm just wondering, I think I saw Grub Cooper here, and maybe some other person would be from the Edna Manley. Is it that we need to have a songwriters college? We don't want to move away from that natural talent that people just come and something come to mind and nobody has to go to college. But based on what we saw and what we're hearing, that the music might probably need a little bit of upliftment. Now, my other thing is that I'm a songwriter. My son is an aspiring singer. And from what I'm seeing here now, I just want to know what next do I need to do, because the industry is, sometimes you just have to be very careful how you trade, and you want to really get off on the right start with the right people. And right away, I'm looking at the panelists there in the black. I think I admire what you're saying, and I would want to speak to you after this session.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did anybody want to take that question?
Yeah. So basically, I'm just say about the chopper songs and all of those songs, right?
Right. They need school. They need schooling. Like you said.
So it's not about chopper songs, or, as I was saying before, is what people want to hear.
Yeah.
So if I sing, God protect me when me a drive, remember, we're writing. As he's saying before, he's talking about BPM and all of that. It have to do with the club beat, all of that. We don't want the sad something. As a writer, you have to know for direct yourself, right?
Yeah.
You have to know for direct yourself. It's not that you want to sing those them type of song there, right? And you not push negativity. So if I sing about done streak, I'm not telling the youths them to be done. It's just it's same like when I say catchy at, it's just a slogan.
Yeah.
You get what I say? So as a writer, you have to write with what is trending right now and where I see around you, creativity. So with his son, basically he's saying that his son is doing music as well and writing.
Yep.
He must write with people who want basically hear. At that me sit, and at that me I continue to do. So at that basically I can tell him, pertaining links and all of that, work. For instance, you want to meet Shaggy TJ, we're going to see the work, what you've been, where you've been put in, and how your crafts stay and all of that. So once you work and I sing what the people want to hear, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Good day.
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you? I just want to comment what he's saying, that he's writing what people want to hear, and there's also a flip side. Well, I remember what Chronix had said. Chronix did not really write about girls skinning out and all of that. He write conscious, and he had a genre that wanted to hear that. So you don't have to be a certain type of music. I will more write what I feel and what I want to put out there and hope that it connects with the audience rather than replicate what they want to hear. And I remember also Conscience say he was writing conscious tune, and then as soon as he say girl skin out, that's when him take off. So it happens on both ways. So I understand what you're saying too. It go both ways.
Sometimes I just time too.
Yeah, just time and what. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and it depends what you want to know, because Chronix is him consciousness make him write what him write.
Yeah.
But like it's also a culture thing, because the thing about it, is just that what you go around, what you're surrounded by is what you'll write about. Or, as Valiant said, like if you want to really make it big and you want it fast, you have to write what the people them want. You have to. But if you want to take your time, and because Chronix, it take him time, take years. And the thing is, if you're willing to go through that, and it's a very painful process, but it's worth it, But the thing is, you just have to really know where your conscience is and align yourself.
And sometimes it's a transition. When you really get the ears, them where you really want it, to make them hear you now, you sing what them want hear, you sing what you want them to hear now. Yeah. So yeah, change over now.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
All right, so I never asked a question, I just wanted to comment. But stemming back to what she had asked, just break it down a little further. I know you said melody came first, then 20 minutes or 5, you have the words. But for the beginners, say you just have rhymes jumping in your head, but it's probably just a verse. Is it that you, when you're writing, like she break down the essay, you want to have the chorus as a main identity to capture, and then you kind of add verses to it, and there's no limit to the amount of verses, or you have that little thing added to the chorus. Break it down a little further.
I think you're thinking too much about it. You just need to start somewhere. So if I have a verse, just put down the verse, and then what's gonna happen is whatever is to be placed beside it, behind it, after it will come up.
Yeah.
But you need that reference for listen and put it somewhere.
And some of the best songs ever were never even written down.
True.
Facts.
And I was gonna offer that. I was gonna say, some of the best music would come from inspiration, if it could, right? You see some people as true artists, whether they're painters or songwriters, they'll wake up 3 o'clock in the morning because it just hit them, and you gotta put it down. So if you can be inspired to write your music, that of course would be the best move. If it's not coming off of inspiration and you have to go to the studio and all right, today we have to make a tune. You want to focus on the chemistry between you and the sounds, I would think. That's why I think he's saying the melody would come first, because you're trying to hear what the music is telling you. So when the music is singing to you, you might hear, you know what I'm saying? But you don't have the words. And then later on you might come with, don't worry about a thing. You know what I'm saying? And it all makes sense. But it's first finding that marriage and that chemistry between you and the sound, so that can just connect with the people properly.
Yeah.
Greetings.
We have, down here.
All right, so my name is Martin Alamin. I'm from Georgetown, Guyana. So my question is, how important is having a team? Because on the panel currently we have artist, producer, radio personality. And in the crowd we have everybody else. Mm-hmm. So how important is it having a team, and how much people do you need in this team?
I'll let y'all answer, and then I'll chime in from
a short answer to that. A team is very important, and how many people depends on
what you doing.
Yeah.
How you moving.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a set answer. It depends on what needs you require. So if you need a manager, if you need someone to just move you through the business, then you get a manager. If you need someone to deal with your money, you get an accountant. Otherwise, as I said earlier, all these things have to be done regardless. So if you're someone that can manage multiple things, then great, you can save some money. But if you just want to make music, and a road manager as well, right. But if you just want to make music and focus on that, then just look at all the aspects that you need to consider to get where you want to get. And if you don't know about road manager thing or money and them thing, they find people that will do that for you. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
And before that, to study the business part of music first.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yes.
Yeah, I think it comes in phases, right? Like people just don't start off with a 5-person, 6-person, 10-person team. Usually starts off with, once you realize that you're getting busy enough where you can't manage your own email inbox, then that's probably when somebody should come in and manage you, right? How much money is coming through the door is also indicative of that, right? Like how much offers are you getting? Who is coming to meet with you, etc. Like that's when you get a manager first. When you start doing shows and touring, you definitely need somebody to go on the road with you. You need a road manager. In terms of business, you definitely need a business manager to bring in all the partnership deals that come in the door, to keep up with their accountant, because the IRS, the taxes or whatever is always coming for you.
And a music lawyer as well.
And you need a music lawyer, somebody that can read over your contracts to make sure you're not in any weird 360 deals where people are taking money from everything you do. So it just depends. As soon as you start scaling, that's when you start scaling your team. So, but we are actually getting the wrap-up sign over here. Thank you all so much. Valiant, Nordia, JLL, Shani, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody.